going home, we had to now drive to different places to get home. What did we achieve out of it? And like you said, with these same people that are in authority and they were with us.
Yeah.
When we were in the trenches and we were fighting.
Will it ever change? Is there any hope for it?
Not in our generation.
So which generation? Because if in our generation, as diligent as we were, it's not changing.
Not in our generation. Because you see, I saw something at the last AFCON and I was shocked. You see, I don't know, but I mean, when I go to a place, I don't think like everybody else think. Fiifi, remind me of the AFCON, but let me give another example of the All-African Games, then we come back to the AFCON. I was given my accreditation by GBC to go to the All-African Games. The day I entered the All-African Games was the day I exited.
SportyFM.
I was so angry when I got there and asked me why. I saw private vans that had been hired. And when I went into the private vans, you had GBC staff in there. So I was like, Nipakuno Onyansa, couldn't you have given $2 to $3 million to GBC to purchase all these vans and things so that if nobody got anything out of this All-African Games, GBC would have used that to change all their equipment. Rather, you gave that money to a private person to bring in those private vans to come and do outdoor broadcasting. And there were so many different venues, and each venue had a van that had been hired. And look at the monies that came out of it.
And there were GBC staff in those vans.
In those vans.
Yes. So they have the expertise, but they don't have the equipment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we think, if it is your own money, would you have given that money out to a private person?
But if they gave it to GBC, how would they make trouble out of it?
So then that answers your question.
How would they make trouble out of it?
So that answers the question you gave me, that this country is not going to change. When I was so mad, I was so angry, I didn't do anything. Because I wanted to be sure it was the same thing in Legon. So I moved from Boteman and I got to Legon, and Legon was worse. Legon, they had these French guys in some room with, I was like, and then the commentary was being run by Carl and the young boys, Bartels and co. So I was like, are we okay? The engineers, the people behind are these French boys from Abidjan being paid thousands of dollars, and then our people are just being put here. I just walked off.
You'd be surprised to know how much our people were paid.
Exactly. So I just walked off. I did only comment, like a commentary for my journalistic journey. I've done commentary only once. Either you or it's not you. Who was the program manager at the time? Radio Good.
It was BB at a point.
No, before BB, the gentleman was a TikTok guy. Yeah, was started Radio Good.
Okay.
The gentleman sent me to Tema.
Okay.
I was doing my. I think so.
Bingo.
I was doing my. I was working at a laboratory called Lab Express in Atabraka, so I'll close at 2. And then Tema Youth and some team were playing in Tema. Then I was asked to go and cover the match.
Yeah.
So when I got there, and I said, I've come. Where can I sit? They say, I must sit on the floor. I said, what bodam? Bodam. When I go to clinical outreach in Takwa in a village, the least the villagers do for me is that they bring in a table and they cover the table with a cloth for me to sit down and attend to them.
Yeah.
And you are saying that I'm coming to cover a Premier League match. I should sit on the floor. When you're serious, I'm just trying to take your mind back to at that time. So for me, I said, this is not a profession I want to waste my energy in, because I respect myself so much that I'm not going to sit on the floor and run a commentary. Why? And that continues, and that continues, and up to this point.
And it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed.
Do you remember that this event planning people, we were ahead of them until they began to come in with these decorations and things like that? Let me go to the AFCON story and I come back to this one. The last AFCON, let your research team or your social media people run through. You will see the number of socialites, musicians that were taken on the government press to go to Abidjan. And the Jamaica Commission actually spoke against taking funds.
Yeah, the white paper.
They are white paper. It is a legal document that we are supposed to follow and look at. And then if you use the AFCON to the Qatar and you see the number of ministers and parliamentarians that went to Qatar. That's why the footballers demand the money they demand.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's in his base. He only hear from the Hansard that this amount of money that was spent on the World Cup, and that includes maybe the money for GBC, the money that was used for the politicians to travel and everything. So the footballers, as I say, Anaska will use so because they didn't see that money.
Yeah.
And until we begin to do segregate, divide, proper structure in place, we will be going around.
Were you surprised we didn't qualify for AFCON?
Yes, I was.
Why? Because
it has become our best right. I mean, all of us. I think nobody saw this coming.
But if you look at the dwindling fortunes of the team,
we didn't think we could go that low.
The declination of the team from that time.
You are using data. That's correct. If you are using data, then you are 100% correct.
Right.
But I think it had become our best right. We didn't even think it could ever happen. Unfortunately, if you look at our boys in Europe and they come down and they are not able to play, there's more to this life.
Yeah, it's true.
Let me give you a story in Kolebu. Then maybe to answer this, why we have football that's declining. I don't remember the year, but in Kolebu, at the maternity ward, there was a woman that was coming out like in labor for hours and hours, like from the previous night, battling to like 4 5 a.m. when there was a new changeover. Now the new matron comes in. Her presence causes the old matron to go out. Immediately the old matron goes out, the baby comes out. Bam!
SportyFM.
How?
You say how? There's more to this life than just living and dying. There are things that you cannot
see
and you cannot explain. And it takes a humility and it takes the grace of God for you to be able to say to yourself that Charlie Mafum. You see, Ghana football and Ghana sports, it's like when they were doing the Adenta Road, do you remember?
Yeah.
And that time, if some mulligan place, if you remember. But if you were not lucky, and one of those crazy guys from Panta escaped at midnight and got to the traffic light and pointed Dodowa to Ebri and Ebri to Dodowa, and because you are so proud and pompous, you get to that place, and then now Ebri is pointing towards Dodowa, but you are going to the eastern region, and you know that you have to climb a mountain. I could do Dodowa. Doesn't it occur to you that from that point you should be climbing up?
Yeah.
But it's only a proud person that will continue. But when you continue, you will get to boom. Then you see the water. Say, but eastern region, there is not supposed to be water here. But because of your arrogance, you will continue. Then you will see the Adome Bridge. But didn't it occur to you that in class 2 and class 3, we were taught that Adome Bridge in Kutinzi or Wakusomo.
Yeah.
But you see, that is where you have to take a major decision. That's what I call a paradigm shift. Then your arrogance makes you continue on that bridge at the Dome. Then you are going towards
the Volta.
You go to Pandai. You want to get to Cove Town. But look at where you are now. But when you go to Pandai, there's this jetty that must go on the water to get to the other side. Even then, your arrogance is still in you. And you cross that water. As for the Cove Town, they do, but they call Tamale. Never seen down to Techima, Kumasi before you get to Cove Town. A journey of just 1 hour. Look at all the struggle you are going through because of your arrogance and pride and pomposity than to say that the man city, Charlie, it is not working. Who have I offended?
To just turn around.
Turn around. All you have to do is just turn around. It's like 1992.
Turn around and even ask somebody.
If Chema Rollins did not drop that uniform, we will not be having mobile phones in Ghana today. You remember, the moment he dropped that thing, Mobitel came in. Then the subsequent things. But as long as he had a military uniform on, nobody was... We had to go to Circle to make calls. Do you remember?
Yeah, post office. Go and stand by the booth. You're in a queue.
SportyFM.
And they're holding your card.
How many traffic lights were in Ghana in 92?
I can imagine.
Just one decision Rawlings made by saying that, as for me, I'm tired. Let's just go to that democracy. And because we're even in a hurry to get rid of Rawlings, we just did this constitution anyhow. See how we are suffering with the thing?
Yeah. That's why there's a review now happening.
Because honestly, do you know that by copying the UK and the US model, we made a mistake. And when the UK model, no, the Prime Minister is changed the next day. Like the way when the late President Mills died, the next night we sworn in President Mahama.
Yes.
And that's what we need in this country. We don't need that US. You see, we copied the US presidential system and we copied their transition in addition. And that's very wrong. Our transition must be immediate. When the Electoral Commissioner says, Fiifi is the next president, the next 1 hour you must swear Fiifi in. That is the only way our country can run. But if you went to the US system where they are our NITA.
Transition movement.
No. We don't need that in this country.
And all that.
No, because your NITA, which is your infrastructure,
your data.
It's not strong. People can change data, people can shred data. No, that if the Electoral Commission announced in the evening, you must swear the president in. That's the only way this country can run. So as long as we are on this transition one, people will be chasing people out of public toilet and.
So back to the issue of you're not being surprised that we didn't make it to AFCON. Will you be surprised if we don't make it to the World Cup?
We must ask ourselves serious questions of Fiifi.
It's 30 days to the qualification of the World
Fiifi,
Cup.
we are a country where we like knee-jerk reactions. Where something comes in, hey, we must stop.
And plan.
Exactly. Project management. In fact, in the UK, you cannot be a minister of state without doing what they call the Prince 2. Prince 2 is their version of the project management. PMI is the American version, and in the UK is the Prince 2. Because you're going to handle a lot of money, and a minister of state, you don't know and you don't understand the basics of project management. It's not going to happen. So they will put you somewhere, you will learn it, then you come on the job. So in project management, 75% of the time is planning. But we spend 75% of the time talking.
Yeah.
And if talking build skyscrapers, we will be nicer than Tokyo. I'm telling you in Accra. Because since I came in 92 to now, the number of seminars, the number of workshops.
Capacity building.
SportyFM.
Can you quantify the number of workshops and capacity buildings? In fact, we don't even have any university in Ghana that is doing toothpick. Or a university in Ghana that has come up with an iron, just an iron. We import iron. Pressing iron.
We import everything.
Yes. So if we had a policy that said that all the polytechnics in Ghana should just produce irons, so imported... Trump is teaching us tariff. So every imported iron, 50%. Locally made iron, 0%. Don't go for iron, toothpick, those things, basic things. We import everything. And that's our mindset. As long as the thing is from outside, it's okay. Meanwhile, when these small boys that have been brought, we went to school with these boys, these white boys that come to this country, and we beat them at schools. In fact, if Kofi Annan didn't travel and he was here, he would never go beyond headmaster or Beza at where some lecturer in some university. Finish. Look at where Kofi Annan was able to rise to. That is how strong the Ghanaian is, but how we just make mincemeat of it. So this World Cup, we need to ask ourselves questions. The president, not even the GFA president, the president, he has a choice. Does he want us to go to the World Cup? Or he wants to have a legacy? The choice is his. The direction he will give will determine what we will do now. Because the World Cup is going to be borne by the state. The expenses of the World Cup. And you see the funny thing we are waiting for? If we want to go, why haven't we set up a committee that will look at why we should go? Rather, when we qualify, it's when we put up those committees. Doesn't make sense.
If you were to sit with the president, what would you tell him?
I would tell him, Mr. President, choose this day whom you will serve. Do you want to go to the World Cup, or you want to leave a lasting legacy?
If he says he wants to go to the World Cup, what would you say?
Then set up a committee. If he wants to go to the World Cup, then I'll advise him, set up a committee, let the committee sit down with the Football Association and do what I call a quantitative analysis. Not that that knee-jerk reaction. No. Let's agree that, okay, the whole World Cup, the minimum we are going to get is $1 million. And therefore, if I'm using that for the basis of this conversation. If we are going to make $1 million, and sometimes, you know, what we do in this country that I never understand, not even a single journalist has raised it before. It's as if the money we spend on route to the qualification is not part. When we begin to disburse money, it's not part. How? Because if you tell the players, I put you in a private jet, I put you in a it's not no, this flight, chartered flight to Johannesburg and back. It costs $100,000 during the qualification. Your accommodation costs $50,000. This costs that. But before we kick a ball, that's 1 million. This is how much you have spent. So the player must understand that 1 million, half is gone already. And therefore, when he's making demands, he should remember that we put him in a 5-star hotel, we put him on a business class. That should be part of the conversation. But because of the little chop, we put that aside.
Always looking for new money. Always.
That's why the president told the sports minister he doesn't need to. Well, he doesn't have $1. The president sports minister only he only makes money when the Blasters is playing. There's no money that will go to him. The money that the finance minister will devote for the ministry, I'm not sure it will barely take care of the salary at the ministry. He can't even maintain the stadiums. I'm not sure. No. I'm not sure that money.
That is how budgets have always been.
So it means that
it's always difficult, you know.
So whatever he gets, cannot maintain our stadium.
No.
Okay. So it means that he himself, he's at the mercy of the Black Stars.
So he must ensure.
Now the conversation is coming for you to understand how we have deteriorated our sports over the period. So now, Fiifi, you and I sit here and say that, if it makes sense, we are better off not going to this World Cup. Like Belgium didn't go to a particular World Cup. Do you remember? After 96.
Yeah.
86. After
86 they were there.
No, the one after 86. 1991.
1990 World Cup, yeah. In Italy.
That one. They didn't go. Then that's when gave birth to the Belgium academic system that now that
they're golden generation.
They're going through. I was doing my postgraduate in Costa Brava, 97. I remember I was learning how to do clinical analysis. Then at that time, Romario, Rivaldo. That's when Eto'o came out of the Academy of Real Madrid, 97, that time. So in one of the articles in the Sport, I remember Cruyff told them, you guys can continue learning from Real Madrid. You will never catch them unless you go back to this academic thing I wrote for you people. La Masia is a document that was birthed in the 70s, and they were Barca was trying to catch up with Madrid. So they were just buying the crystals. You remember, they did worse than City. People don't know. Barcelona spent more money than City has spent now. They were buying all sorts of players, if you remember.
Yeah, Romario and all the
it didn't amount to
Rivaldo,
anything,
Romario,
nothing.
all of them. Yeah.
So then they decided actually this way of administering football is not going to work. And they went back to La Masia. And the rest is what? History.
So if the president wants to qualify, you are asking that he should set up a committee.
He should set up a committee
to look into how to go about that.
And those committees will be segmented into 3 different: the technical, the sponsorship, and then the what I call accountability. There must be a group that is there for accountability. That comes and say, hey, we can't spend this.
So watching the watchman.
Exactly. Those 3 arms. Then they will all work as a unit so that we can go and say, okay, it's a project we are going. This is how we should go about it. But no, this sports minister, I pity him. You know why, Fiifi?
No, tell me.
If the gentleman had 50 telephone calls a day before he was appointed, now he's having 500.
Yeah, obviously.
How can he think?
Obviously.
He can't think. No, you're mobile.
So if the president wants to now, instead of qualifying and leave a legacy,
good.
What is a legacy?
If he wants to leave a legacy, then he can say, okay, you know what?
SportyFM.
I am not going to. You see, if you look at the sports ministry in a year, 95% of the budget goes into Black Stars. That's what they call an imbalance. The Bible says that a false balance is an abomination. So clearly, the way we are administering football is an abomination. You cannot have 9 children. Fifi, let's say you are a father of 9, wife plus 2 children. But what's the star? Number 2. Before we are doing a doctor can no be until all you are responsible for 9 maths. Black Queens, Black Stars, Black
the U20.
It's
both ways. Yeah.
2 man were 8.
SportyFM.
Okay. During the hardship that we are going through now, you have 9 balls of kinky. Then you, the father, you say, oh, because I'm the father, I want to eat 7 of the kinky.
And leave 2 for the rest.
For the rest. How can that be possible? That's what the Black Stars is doing to everybody else. You see, the people, those of you who are in a hurry to go and tell a boy is Christian, say, please. That's not what I'm saying. Open your ears and listen. Let us educate you. We are not here to put anybody. I'm saying that it doesn't make sense that 95% or 90% of the budget of the Ministry of Youth and Sports goes to Black Stars in a calendar year. It doesn't make sense.
When there are 54 other associations or federations.
I'm not even looking at them. I'm looking at the 9 other
national teams.
Yes, I don't.
Soccer teams.
Soccer teams. Yes. Let's stay with soccer.
SportyFM.
It doesn't make sense. Which
and they are the least that bring laurels.
Which age group has brought us so much glory? It's not under 17s. How much money do we spend on them?
And the Black Queens.
And the Black Queens.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense to do that. So then now, those people, everybody, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. One jai them from us now.
SportyFM.
Let's sit down. Let's talk as adults. Let's talk as people who have our nation at heart and ask ourselves serious questions. Into World Cup na young call Russia and we are.
SportyFM.
2018.
This AFCON that we are not going. Are we going to die?
So there'll be nothing wrong if we don't go to the World Cup.
In the 2006 World Cup,
People want to go to the US.
oh, remember 2006 World Cup. Now maybe Italy about 4. Now I moved homes, Charlie, and I lost my passport about 2 months to the World Cup. Then I remember sitting on the television and I was watching one day the one that we won, the one that Czech match,
Czech Republic, yeah.
Just before the match, Pastor Mensa Otabel, he spoke in a sermon. I said, look, for those of you who didn't get a chance to go to the World Cup, don't worry. There will be another World Cup, and there will be another World Cup, and there will be another World Cup. Was he right?
He was right.
SportyFM.
Trump is booting people out of the place. Wouldn't it be better that you go to US in the next 6 years when Opana is not there and stay there?
There are some who will go and escape.
I'm coming all the time. Sometimes we don't know. Opana,
Everybody that you had.
look, this guy, even the European Union is not sparing them. How much more you? You sell your father's land, you sell all your property and go for these ICE people. And you know the ICE, they have the instructions to shoot and kill. So when they're trying to stop you and you don't move, they'll shoot.
SportyFM.
Your baby, what's it say? Who's the woman? On Sabeka. You don't have to. It's not only traveling that will make you prosper. Then the people in Beverly Hills will be happier than us. But they're the worst people, the people who live in Hollywood. They are not happy. They have all the monies in the world. In fact, some of them, ultrasound machine, when they are pregnant, they don't go and scan. They don't go and queue. Or scan machine when if you it's still that person is not happy.
Yeah.
Happiness is not derived by the amount of things you have.
So if it's a legacy, he shouldn't bother too much about qualifying to the World Cup.
No.
And then use that legacy to fix.
Okay, he has 4 years from 2020
to 2028.
2028. When is the next AFCON after the one we are not going?
We are going this year, so it's 2027.
So he has one more AFCON before he exits.
Yeah.
Okay, look at it. Oh, he doesn't go to the next AFCON. He doesn't go to the next World Cup, and he goes to the other AFCON and win it. Which one makes sense? Because the World Cup, undo baby, that one there is a fact. Let's not. I'm not doing. You can go to USA, but we will not get anywhere. That one there, you people can take me on. I don't care. I'm telling you, by my years of journalism in this state, I'm telling you, when we qualify for the World Cup, you ain't do baby. That one is a fact. Let nobody. You can insult me for all you want, but it's a fact.
But there's no guarantee that if he goes to the next AFCON, he will win it.
No, but then you have 3 years to plan, PV. Nigeria did it with Lucas, Keshi. Zambia did it. There's a model to copy.
Yeah, template.
It carry Opel Cadet.
Yes.
Opel Cadet is what became Kia Rio or Kia something, if you remember. The Koreans copied the thing, Daewoo Racer. Ditto. And then now, look at Kia. So there's nothing wrong in copying. 3 years.
Once the template is there,
you can do it.
Yeah, you look at the template.
Look, Fiifi.
But Stephen Keshi did it very well with
Fiifi,
Nigeria, yeah.
One of the easiest, if I'm the FA president, one of the ways I will enhance our local game is to say that for every call-up, if it's 21 players, is that 21 players we are called?
Yeah, they're about.
Is it not, if I'm wrong, some of your 21 players,
yeah,
that's our call. Okay. 6 is local. And it's not because so 6 minus 21 is 15. So even if you like, you are the coach, you don't use those 6. Still use your 11 foreign and plus your 4 reserve. But those 6, for every Black Star call-up, I want the best local goalkeeper to be there. So you are saying that for every Black Star call-up, there's a competition among the goalkeepers in Ghana, knowing that the best goalkeeper will go, the best right defender, but the best left, the best 6 positions. We pick 6 positions, and we are saying that the best striker in Ghana now is this man. The best midfielder is this man. That is how you grow the local game. You must be intentional. You can't do things biara. You have to be intentional. You have to plan. Things don't just happen.
It's been tried before.
No.
It's been tried before.
How?
Where they took a couple of local players into the Black Stars.
No, but we didn't make it. It was like it's people's discretion.
Because no. I remember when we went to there was an AFCON or
yes.
even the World Cup in Qatar.
It took
2 Ghanaian local players.
Fiifi, all these things are the discretion of people. No, let's move away from discretions.
You want it to be like a policy.
That's why when you get to the UK border, and they say your paper is correct. The moment you put the thing on the machine, it doesn't tell whether you are Fiifi or not. The thing opens for you to go.
Yeah.
The same machine is at the airport, but when we get there, we don't want to use it, and we let people stand there and they collect and put it inside because we don't like structure. You see, our mentality is just dark and black. It is not about Fiifi or Ebo. The policy that we have to, if we have to go back to Congress and put it in our statutes and say that to grow our local game, we are saying that of the 21 players that will be called for every call-up, 6 will be local players. Because these are the criteria for the call-up of those 6.
Because the truth is, we don't lose anything at all if we invite the 6.
That's it. And
because at any given time, it is only 11 players who are on the pitch.
So you are saying to the local game that for every call-up, the best goalkeeper will go, the best striker will go, the best midfielder will go. Until when that defender goes to meet the internationals, then you tell them, the fact that you came, I'm better than you. Then we also have to ginger the local guys. And when you go there, go and show them that we can also do something.
And even economically, it helps the local players.
We haven't even got there yet.
Yeah, even economically.
So imagine that you spend $10,000 per flight for that international person to come. Divide it into 5. Or even divide it into those 6 and give it to a local player. Do you know how much he will throw his leg? The late Cecil Jones showed us when he got angry, he played 11 locals and they were not bad at all. In fact, all the people they were not local before they became international. If the English...
And he played against a star-studded Nigerian squad, yeah.
If the English a young boy can just burst on the scene. Someone like Cowell, the Chelsea defender.
Yeah.
Have a ball, no ball, and you know local here. Tell me.
He's only Wanieri.
SportyFM.
What kind of ball that they play that we cannot find at CYO Park in Adabraka here? It's just a matter of the willingness for us to do the right thing because it favors somebody or it doesn't favor somebody. Let's move the conversation away from Fiifi said this, Ebo said this. Let's have systems, procedures in place so that the system says that whoever is the best local player in terms of defense, whenever the call-up is going, so there will be a competition in the local scene. We can even vote by radio, by text, that the way this Ghana Music Award thing is done. The sports, we have so much sports content creators now, where we can come up and we can vote to know that, Charlie, in this particular call-up, this is the best goalkeeper.
Yeah.
This is the best right midfielder. This is the best this. And those 6 are just going to complement those 16 or 15 that will come. That Saudi Arabia, their pro league, they have a quota for locals. Even in England, the Premiership, you have to play for your national team for a certain level before you. Everybody does the quota system.
At a point in Italy, 3 foreigners at a time.
Exactly.
At a time.
At a time.
Yeah.
You can't do.
Unless you have an EU passport.
Everybody does it to enhance your game. You have to look at yourself and say that, no, I prefer cold water. I prefer hot water because this is what is good for me. And I'm saying that for us, we do not need more than 15 professional players per
call-up.
No, we don't need it. So those 6 are rigorously like people fight for those positions. You will see how it will enhance the local game.
Do you have confidence in Coach Otuado?
I have a soft spot for him.
You have a soft spot for him?
Yes. Oh, I'm biased when it comes to Otuado.
Why? Relationship-wise?
No, I don't know him.
Okay.
I just don't know him. I don't know him. I just think that he's at the wrong place at the right time. he just finds himself at the wrong place. Yes. And I also think that he has also helped himself. And with them captaincy with the
Kudus and
it was unnecessary.
Yeah, it was very messy.
And I am asking myself, what did he learn when he went to the World Cup? So that's where now, when people are criticizing him, I cannot speak. But the reason I have a soft spot for him is that I believe that for the past 20 years, we've been giving coaches 2 years contract. Check. That will not amount you to anywhere, and I can explain. I was privy to do a little military training when I was in Cuba. There are 2 times. Sometimes we go and they give us hot water, and we have 30 seconds to drink a hot tea. And another time we have 2 minutes to drink. Now, Fiifi, tell me, the 30 seconds one, how much can I drink? And then the 2 minutes one, how much can I drink? And that answers your question. The more time the person has, the better the person's way of seeing things, reflecting upon things. That 2-year contract we were giving to the coaches. That is why we got a 2-year result we got.
But Ebo, you have followed football for a long while. Apart from the duration, look at technical astuteness or technical ability.
Fiifi, I'll pick a lady as my house maid or like a secretary at my reception who doesn't know anything but has a teachable spirit over somebody who knows everything and has a bad attitude.
So in this case, which one is Otto?
I don't know the people dealing with him. You see, it looks like the people dealing with him are comfortable with him. That's Kurt and his administration. They are comfortable. They deal directly with him.
Yeah.
If they are comfortable with him in terms of his attitude, and he's willing to listen and learn, I don't see any problem in maintaining him. But on the other hand, if he's not willing to listen and learn, and he's not making progress as he's, because you must have metrics.
Because the data shows that he's not making progress.
But you and I did not employ him.
That's the truth.
What was he told when he was employed?
But it's our money that is used to pay him.
Because we can only talk all we can do is talk.
We can't take any decision.
We can't do foco. We have no. We can talk. That's it. That's it. That's why. Oh, your parties, you are back because some of us we will not talk because
what's your take on the recent surge of violence in our football?
It's a big question.
That actually has led to police death and stuff like that.
It's a big question. And
what do you attribute it to?
When President Mills died, and the tributes began to pour, I was shocked though. I was shocked. The way people were talking about the man before and after. In fact, we here in this country, we worship the dead, Papa. This gentleman was on radio.
Traditionally, we don't say bad things about the dead. So
this gentleman was on radio a week, 2 or 3 days before, and I think he was cautioning about the match. I've seen videos of it.
Yeah.
What did we do? Or am I lying?
True.
There are videos of the man predicting something could happen at the venue. Fiifi, who radio rank? I can't hear because we all go to the various stadiums. All of us have traveled. In fact, for people who have not even gone to Europe before, we go to AFCON and things. Fans are segregated. Anna, fans are segregated. How do you put fans together?
Home and away.
Yes. Where? This is common sense.
SportyFM.
Before we talk about hooliganism, I'm saying that segregation of fans. Do you need to be told that the only people and the Haas people should not be in the same section? The masses or the community.
SportyFM.
Must I say it? People are just not qualified to be doing what they are doing. Fiifi, this young lady seated here, I don't know her name, but if you tell her that she's getting married tomorrow, she will never agree. Ask me why. On the gown, on booking the venue, on pinda, and she's right. After picking the venue, the decorator will never say that the morning of the venue, she's come to start decoration. It will never happen. It will never happen. Great events, they need 2 days or 3 days to prepare the venue. Why do we think we can just go to a football stadium and start playing football? Are we okay?
Even for radio, the show prep, there's a lot of preparation that comes up before a show.
Oh, producer, let me give him thumbs up. He called me 2 days ago.
Yeah.
He didn't even tell me I was coming today. He said, my friend, send out Chimaba. Then the next day he calls. Then he calls this morning.
And let me give him credit because you know what he does? Sometimes at 3 a.m., who sends me what we are discussing today. He will send me at 3 a.m. When he sees I'm online, he will send me a message. So sometimes I think he's a wizard. He flies. He doesn't.
So if your young man here needs 48 hours for a boat to come and sit and talk, what makes you think you can just go to a football stadium and start playing? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Without preparation?
No. That's the problem. Look, I don't want to go to the Emirates, but the Emirates as it is, you cannot play a football match there without 3 days. The catering department, they need 3 days to prepare the stadium, to clean the seats, to get the 3 days. The Emirates Stadium needs 3 days to be ready. That's why Inter Milan and AC Milan cannot play on the same week in Champions League. Check, it has never happened because per UEFA rules, UEFA need minimum of 2 days for sponsorship decorations.
So this will play on a Tuesday, this will play on the next Wednesday.
One, yes. Yeah. And when UEFA appears on your stadium, rule number 1, your capacity is reduced by 10%. It doesn't care whether you're Real Madrid. Per UEFA standard, when UEFA appears in your stadium, this is it. So 1, fan segregation. 2, legislation. If there's a legislation that says that when you go to the stadium and you misbehave, you will be caught, you'll be put there, you'll be punished, you'll be done this. It will deter people. These are basic things. This is common sense. This one is not rocket science. Fiifi,
because even on Sunday when we were having the 1 week for polling, at the same time, All Blacks and Elmina Sharks were fighting.
You see, one day I went to the Elmina Sports Stadium and I was shocked when I saw what I saw at the Elmina Sports Stadium, and I was shocked at the Metro TV van that was also covering the thing. Hey, Fiifi, if you see, God, I couldn't believe my eyes. Oh, van being he carried them agege 4 or 5 now Lagos Accra that van no wakita cameras with there Kojimo cameras no what did you Ghana Premier League. I saw me only 2 years. If I'm wrong, somebody should correct me. So Fiifi, we as a people, we don't value ourselves. We don't respect ourselves, and we allow anything.
It seems we haven't learned anything from May 9th.
No. I am out there on Abaha because it doesn't. I'm not afraid to talk, but I don't want to talk that will not get results. That will not make any impact on what we are doing. Look at this AFCON. When I saw the AFCON and the lady with the singer tone and the musicians and things was sung when you know the Abidjan. For what?
SportyFM.
For what? At the expense, they will give you so many reasons why all those people were carried to. And remember, these young men and the ex-football administrators, people who have been making sure the football is surviving, all to them time now, they are the people who are ignored. And they go and bring this new set of people who call themselves local champions, and then they put them on planes and they take them. So they are the ones looking to go to the World Cup more than us. What happened to World Cup? And football people know. Hey, I'm not fine ready, Papa. Then World Cup, if they don't go, then they will kill the footballers. Jesus Christ.
They want to go to Canada. They want to go to the US and Mexico.
As the president of the land has a choice. Me, my target is him. The president of the land must give a clear direction. He wants to go to the World Cup or he wants to create a legacy for the football. The choice is his.
Can he go to the World Cup and create a legacy at the same time?
No. Unfortunately, no. You can't eat your cake and have it. Fiifi, iko baby no watch akokwa. Was it tin makomna? Ni nyanitin. It's not possible. You can't. You can't. Why? Because then look at how much it's going to cost you to go to the World Cup, and then how much it's going to cost you to create a legacy. Is sport and football the only thing the president of the land has to do in 4 years?
No.
If he had
there's a lot more pressure.
If he had unlimited budget, then you can go for what you are asking for. But now like I said, Koko for watching there, baby. The Koko people are pulling him. I'm sure the Chiefs are pulling him.
DDEP.
Just say everybody has to be sorted out. I'm not sure they think you talk about you.
No.
He has to go and thank everybody.
No, he does it intermittently.
Exactly. Only crowd
intermittently. Yeah.
That's how our country is run. So I think that for me, the minister should hasten slowly. Sometimes it's good. That's if he can back it with action. But I want to see this minister after 2 football matches. I want to see whether he will still be talking after the Blasters monies have been released after 2 matches. Then you can call me to have this conversation again. I have seen a lot of ministers before Blaster matches, how they talk, and then after Blaster matches, how they talk.
Yeah.
It's only after the Blaster matches he will see money. He hasn't seen it. He won't see no money where he's seated. Trust me. Abesika, from where? The Minister of Finance, you know the burden on him. That guy, he will grow hair very fast. Atufosin. I don't envy him at all. So Atufosin cannot give him unlimited budget. And do you know how we are damaging sports in this country? If the money going to the World Cup can be given to Kofi Adams today, Kofi Adams can do a proper planning with it and save us a lot of money. But he won't be giving that money. At the last minute, they call something certificate of agency. That is why that Mustafa Yusuf guy, that guy, if I had my way, I would jail him. the Mustafa Yusuf guy, or Bambofu. He's somebody who has wrecked our nation. That guy, Fifi, if you look at the cost of Boteman, he can build an Olympic-sized stadium. That if you see, you have to do something called value for money. People like that, they haven't even seen an Olympic-sized stadium in his lifetime before. How does he become a sports minister in the first place? If Ghana had an Olympic-sized stadium, do you know what we can do? We can become the tourism hub for all the African countries when we are going for the All African Games, All African Athletics Games. There's a place in California called Pasadena Rose Bowl, where all the athletes go and train before major athletic events.
Yeah. That's where the World Cup 94 finals was played.
So what you do is that you have this Olympic-sized stadium here, then you get Aqua Safari and all those hotels that are in the to give as a package. Why won't Tottenham Hotspur come and do a preseason here?
Yeah.
Why would Tottenham Hotspur not come and go to Australia instead of coming to Accra? Tottenham Hotspur can land in Accra, go to our Olympic Stadium, train there from Boteman to Aqua Safari. I think it's about 30 minutes, or Pedwasi.
Yeah.
It's about 30 minutes. Maboa. It's called common sense. That guy, he must be jailed. How can you put $50 million for someone to go and eat? Are you scar? You use it for that. And I heard him in Parliament talking the World Cup facilities. The day I knew he was empty-headed was when he opened that his mouth and said that Boteman will whatever university. And I'm saying, are you okay in your head? Are you okay? Do you know how a university is formed in the first place? Fifi.
$4.5 million was used for tax.
Fifi, how do you build a stadium that is 70% complete with the money that can build that same stadium brand new? The Lagos Stadium was almost 70% or 80% complete.
Yeah.
Now go to the various halls. All the air conditions is gone. Please, let me not talk about that guy. Myself will come. Let's move on.
All right, so that's a Boapia you're listening to. If you just tuned in, this is 106.1 SportyFM. There's a SportyDrive.
I have a dossier on him, and like I did with Plavi, at the appropriate time, I'll release it.
A dossier on Mustafa Yusuf.
If you look at his tenure, he's the worst thing that has ever happened to Ghana sports. What bonde?
Ewapia is on heat. Let's just take a musical break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation. I want to find out his thoughts on a couple of other things. And then when we are done, we'll open the phone lines for you on 054-257-1061. That you can also share your views with us on this one. If you haven't listened to it, take on our level of officiating?
There's a lot of fear and apathy. And Fiifi, you cannot expect Excel. It's one of the best softwares you can ever have. But you need a proper formula. Then when you get the formula, you need to insert the data. So garbage in, garbage out. So a referee is going to Nswatre. I know what you're going. How much is the referee paid? How is the referee going to get to the venue? How is the referee going to sleep? How is the referee going to be protected? And how is the referee going to return safely to his home? If you are paying the guy, let's say 2,000 cedis, it will cost him like 1,000 cedis to get to the venue. Now, Obi man 5,000 onja. If you don't want to, there are some positions.
Producer, get me how much referees are paid. Let's see.
It's like you, a young man who you have problem with young ladies. Don't go and become an SHS teacher. Don't. You're suffering. You have a problem in counseling people. Don't. Because you then don't sit in a room. There are some churches that will tell you pastors should not go to visit people at a particular time and those things. These are rules that you have to put around yourself. And I'm saying to ourselves, what is the protection we give to the referees as they leave their homes to the venues and back? Before you can talk of correct officiating, that is the first thing. You remember when our players were not wearing correct jerseys? Do you remember?
Yeah.
What were we getting out of them? Today, jersey is nothing. But back then, it was a problem.
It was everything.
Accommodation was a problem.
Yeah.
We had to put them in 5-star hotels. Then now we put them in business class tickets. And I'm saying that for the referees, what do we do for them? I'm not saying anything extra. Put on these VIP buses that has come. I think VIP goes to virtually everywhere now.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
So, couldn't we have a situation where we have Uber or any of those Yango delivery services? Either we pay 50%, have a deal with them. That Yango picks the referee from Osu.
I think there was something that Kate did earlier with STC.
Sustainability. This is not.
Okay, so I just saw that Ghanaian referees earn 1,000 Ghana cedis per match, according to the RAG chairman.
That's how much they're paid.
1,000 cedis per match.
Okay. Ebo is going to referee in Swatreman versus Kotoko. Ebo lives in Osu. From Osu to STC Oyahin.
Give and
by
take.
Yango.
Give and take 30 cedis, 25, 30 cedis, thereabout.
How much will it cost from Accra to Nswatre?
And back.
Is there a direct car?
I'm sure it will get to Bono somewhere before, Bono Hafo somewhere before you continue.
Okay. So if I want to induce Ebo, and Ebo has to sleep in Sunyani before he gets to Nswatre, can't I do it? Can't I do it? When Ebo gets to Nswatre, who receives Ebo?
The regional association is there.
His food, his safety, in and back. If these things are not guaranteed, and Ebo has to pay his daughter's or child's or a funeral something worth 5,000, and one of these same football administrators come and give him 5,000. Have you forgotten in our era there was a match between Kotoko and House, and we were told that when the guy said that when the House people came, the Kotoko were inside, and then it was. It was like this will break 5, and then they had to top up. Have you heard that story before?
It's true.
Exactly.
It's true.
Why are we all behaving as hypocrites in this country?
I follow Kotoko, and we get to assume to play Kwabi Brim, and we see the referee in the assume chairman's house eating ebunu.
Exactly. in fact, Justice Tanko during the Brazil 2014 said something to me. You know me, I'm passionate about hospitality in the sports stadia and things like that. Then he was asking me whether it was right for an appeals court judge to come to the stadium and to be seen seated with a football administrator. None of our stadiums have boxes.
Yeah.
So all of us are put together in the same. It is not right. Or common sense. We can just apply it, and we don't want to apply it until we do the basics right. We are going to continue having the same result, and the basics is from how we sit at the stadium, how we go to the stadium, the referees' protection, and everything. Everything is right.
Can you imagine that even the Accra Sports Stadium,
Yes.
when it was done,
Yes.
look at where the pressmen were put.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
today you go there and they are standing running commentary. They are standing behind.
and then when it's halftime, there's no Wi-Fi for the journalists to use.
Yeah.
And then you have to go down. The only place they clean is where the minister and go when they are choppy.
Yeah.
But for the journalists, nothing.
SportyFM.
So a journalist has come to cover you. How will he be able to give you a good match report when he's angry? Come on, Zen. How will he write a proper report? No, it's never done that way.
That's what they tell you.
No.
Eat before you go to the stadium.
No. All over the world, press centers are one of the best places to go. These are basic things. Yet when we go to Pojemo and we go to Adore, these things are done. These things that I'm talking about, they are done in our local setup. Where at a funeral, people are segregated and say, oh, this class of people will sit here.
Yeah.
This class of people will get this. At our funerals.
Yeah.
So what makes us think that we cannot bring that same thing into our football?
So you think that the level of officiating is as a result of
our as a people? This is how we are. Young referees in year one.
SportyFM.
Refereeing can never improve as long as their safety is not guaranteed.
Because Almina Sharks and the All Blacks, if you see how the referee was manhandled, it's so poor.
Why should he risk his life?
But aren't they sometimes to blame for the kind of officiating they do?
Fiifi.
That if a referee is going to a game and has the game's result in his pocket already.
Fiifi.
SportyFM.
Say Oba Soranapa. Not otna video game, obo video game na. No obiniba. Ni papa cannot afford a video game. And so owo ekumfi ekumpuano. But what na buku no de ma wa show Kendall ma za achi. Na wa akwa akọchiro wasi. Na ekumfi guy no etwa do ahan a oti trasako baby a wa boni PS2 de mala. Now who caused some? That's what I told you. Garbage in, garbage out. Whatever we put, the referee has gone through a lot to get to his destination. When he got to his destination, the person who hosted him was sorting out. Why fine? I mean, we know how to make referees fine. I know we every year. There's several ways we induce referees. Some give them women, some give them this, some give them all kinds of things. It's because even as a football association, each regional, if we had developed a certain point, each regional as FA would have a clubhouse with a pickup. So they pick all the referees to their destinations and take them back. So you cannot even have access to them because they are properly guarded. But it's the playing team that holds the referees. It's not the regional associations. It is the playing teams that take them. The home teams, most of them, they provide for the referees.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, somebody should correct me.
Yeah.
So how can they be fair? How can they be fair? If we are asking too much of these referees, provide adequate security, logistics. Some of them are correct.
In Europe, referees are paid quite well in Europe.
Very well, and you can't even see them.
They are very well protected in Europe.
Exactly.
But yet you have bad referees.
That's
Mark Clattenburg, you have Oliver, and all of them are bad referees.
So, relatively, no, these are not people that are. That's why the video assistance is coming in to help.
But
them.
even it's making it worse.
So imagine we without all of that. Even them with all that. Look at how we are suffering.
Yeah, because my qualifier and code, they are very bad referees.
Yes.
Yet they have the protection, they are paid well.
Yes.
They have everything.
And the FA backs them sometimes when they do the wrong thing.
Yes. The PGML
will just bomb.
backs them. Yes, you talk about them, then you are banned.
So some of them, the McAuliffe and co, they are improving little by little, not even little. The improvement is just little by little. So the referees per se are not going to be perfect human beings. But we as a people, we have even left. Look at the elimination thing you were describing. That people can just run onto the pitch. In fact, when I saw the video of the Kotoko fracas before Pole's death, that match shouldn't have continued.
Yeah. You
see, if you want to do a proper diagnosis of Pole's death, that match should not have continued.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And for us, we put all those things aside
and continue the game.
And we still want to have good results.
Yeah.
How can that be possible? National Sports Authority, the least said about them, the better. Can 2000 in Sekaya? Fiifi, you and I, we advocated them for you. Want to share stadium? What has happened to all our stadia?
But where are they going to get the funding for?
You don't need funding for this. And the entertainment free. In Kaide, we were ahead of them some time ago in terms of organizing. Today, they even do things at the Dome. There are people, when you give them, they can properly handle the stadium.
So you mean the stadium should be given to private individuals?
But Wembley has been done so. Wembley is not being
to manage.
Wembley is not being managed by the Football Association. No, check it. There's a scheme called Club Wembley.
FA,
Yes, Club Wembley is handled by an event company. What away, BBR? If I am the one managing the, let's say, Accra Sports Stadium, all the private boxes there, I'll sell it to mining companies.
SportyFM.
I will tell them that when your mining staff are coming from Takwa, do not get an office here. Use the office at Accra Sports Stadium. Anytime there's a match at Accra Sports Stadium, it qualifies you to go into your box to watch for free and charge them a fee for the year. It is done all over the world.
SportyFM.
It's just common sense. We have a lot and we don't know what to do with it. The Accra Sports Stadium is a gold mine. There's no way government can maintain that stadium. Even Independence Square, we cannot maintain it. We are saying Accra Sports Stadium. Independence Square is a place that should have never ever seen deterioration. Look at it. So what makes you think that we can maintain our stadium? Give it to a private person.
All the stadia?
All of it.
Esipon, Tamale,
everything.
Cape Coast.
You are not giving it to them. They're just managing it for you.
Yeah.
It is done everywhere. Even international airports are being managed by private people. Because the private person will not allow a concert to happen on the pitch without covering the pitch.
Yeah.
SportyFM.
With motorbikes on the pitch and all of that.
Wait. And the minister, past minister, he could spend so much money and he couldn't buy a cover pitch.
SportyFM.
Fiifi, he went to Cameroon. I think one went to Cameroon. Was he the one in charge? One went to Cameroon. It was Esiama, I think.
Esiama. Cameroon was 2019.
Yes.
Was it? Yeah.
It was Esiama. Then we went to where? Abidjan. No, Paddy Okokata.
Yeah, he went to Qatar World.
Paddy Okokata. This guy went to Qatar and we went to this place. So he has seen millions of money, but he didn't have the common sense to take part of that money to buy a pitch cover.
SportyFM.
Yet, one pitch cover is not $10,000. It's not possible. A pitch cover will not cost you $10,000. Yet he has flown MPs and politicians on business class tickets worth 10. This guy must be lashed over and over again.
054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Get on my phones now and share your thoughts on what my friend and brother Ebuapia has been saying on this show. Yeah. Saying it as it is. That's how we work it out. Okay, well, according to my producer, the STC deal is still working. GFA Intercity STC deal partnership, it's 50% of the payment that is done.
But when you talk of safety of referees, that is just one aspect of it.
Yeah, it's just one aspect.
It's like coming to serve me first course, and then you said I should be satisfied.
Yeah, you should.
No.
Let me go on the phones. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Banson.
Your name is?
Nana Anubio.
Let's hear you.
Yes, greetings to Kobnebu over there. I think he's so much on fire. Well, going to the point, he has said a lot. Yes, he has said a lot. During the time you guys were criticizing the people in football authority by then, that's exactly what is happening. Now, Kurt and his people will be like, oh, we did the same thing. We criticized them. Now here we are, and we are doing worse. Leave them. They will talk, and when they finish, they come and they will also do worse. So they don't listen. Listen, somebody who can sit before a president, when he took over 2009, the then president told him that Kwesi Appiah is doing well. This man told him, he was speaking to the president even with his left hand, telling him that he is also president, and he's going to fire him. Truly, he didn't listen to what the president said, and he fired Kwesi Appiah. Can this man listen to anybody? He doesn't listen to anybody. He won't listen to you, me, or anyone else. Now, back to the World Cup. Tell Uncle Ebo that the World Cup, it is that poverty alleviation show. Poverty alleviation program, I swear. People will want to go for Trump to sack them than not to go at all. If Black Star qualify, that's all we want to. We only want them to qualify. Whatever they will go and do there, we don't care. It's a poverty alleviation program for 2026.
Okay.
Done.
All right, I know, Bill. Thank you very much. And he said it bluntly.
Oh, I like the guy.
Yeah.
What kind of
poverty alleviation.
I told you that, look, if these boys don't qualify, the rate at two people will curse them in this country.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name is?
From La Paz.
La Paz. Okay, let's hear you.
Okay, Fee. So I think you could school a normal line.
Uh-huh.
And we started from the zero. You have the positive and the negative.
Mm-hmm.
They say we are free positive now. You moving from zero eco negative. That is the rate at which Ghana football is now. If you look at all the aspects, or if people do any Ghana Premier League, Usha Blaster, Usha GFA, Usha Under 7, Usha Nina, we say like we are on the negative side. Everything is zero. Our former NSA boss went to sit behind a commission and lied to them, say they have a color pitch, which wasn't true. No, so the next time, different person will come and say the same thing, nothing will be done. And everything is rotten. We have barely like 28 days to play a World Cup qualifier. And I'm asking which pitch are we going to play on it? Sure, the World Cup now, our chances is just about 4 out of 10 that will be able to qualify for a World Cup. Like everything, nothing is working in Ghana. And it's very, very sad and very, very painful. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. 054-257-1061. You can send us your contributions as we go along. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay, nobody yet on my line. 054-257-1061. Good evening. Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name is?
Yeah,
let's hear you.
Yeah, Fiifi, I think Uncle Evo has really spoken at length and he's touched on most of the salient issues that are affecting our football. But with regards to the Black Stars and the World Cup, I don't think if the attitude that we used, Otowado used to get us out of the AFCON is what is going to continue with, then we should forget about it. And I think the soccer is now not loved anymore because our sense of patriotism is lost. You see, and it will come from leadership. We've lost, seriously, we see Ghana, you see, and then if patriotism, it shouldn't start from the top. It can start from our locality, wherever we find ourselves. You see, when we were growing up, when you hear the sound of the national anthem, you stop wherever you are. You see, it gives us a sense of pride. You see, we are losing it as Ghanaians slowly. The politicians have really damaged it, and that really affected our football. It has. We've lost our sense of patriotism. And one time I was there and I was thinking, why can't even every radio station start their morning shows with the national anthem, or let's say General Assassin? You understand? At least to renew a sense of patriotism, because we've lost it in soccer, in almost every sphere of our national life. We've lost it. At the end of your mind, they are crying fire and fire. Yes, we don't care. You see things going wrong. You can't correct anybody anymore because and fire. So it do so also here. Now they go. We are losing it as a nation.
Wow. And
if we don't get that sense of patriotism back, look, it's going to affect almost every sphere. I think Mahama is bringing some sense of patriotism back because of some of the decisions he's taking, and I hope it really affects us. Because if we don't, that people don't love the country as it used to be. People really don't love the country anymore. This year, and for
okay.
Things online, you don't even get it.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very much. Your contributions very well appreciated. 054-257-1061. You let your contributions come in. We've got a couple of minutes more to go. Take a couple more calls on this show. You've listened to my good friend Ebu Apia. He's a sports and business consultant, and he's given us his thoughts and opinions on many of the other matters that we've raised here on the show. So as we go along, we keep on picking your calls and your sentiments also shown. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name is?
My name is Green. I'm calling from Tema.
Let's hear you.
Thank you very much, Ebu Apia, for your submissions. And for me, I find it hard, and I agree with a lot of things that Ebu said. It's common sense. Now, if you have a country where the FA president owns a club, or the people who run the football owns club, it's a recipe for disaster. This is conflict of interest. It doesn't happen in any organization apart from Ghana. Can you go to the UK and say that the FA president is a Manchester United owner? That is where we've gotten it wrong. And if we don't go back to change it, it will always be like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling. But I think in South Africa, some of the FA officials own clubs, yet they don't go through these problems, Ebo.
And we copy blindly.
Yeah.
When we're doing the 1992 Constitution, we're in a hurry. When we're doing these past statutes of the FA, we're equally in a hurry. That's our problem.
Because apart from Danny Jordan, I mean, who's the SAFA president, if you look at all of the other people who are handling football, they all have clubs, from Kaiser Chiefs to Sundowns to...
And the English... There's one thing that is happening in Europe, but we don't learn. When you go to Italy, most of the stadia are owned by the Metropolitan Assemblies.
Yeah.
When you go to Germany, there's a rule there, even before this profit and sustainability rule, where you cannot spend more than you earn. And that's why the German clubs are solid. They are not rich, but they are solid.
Yeah,
they
financially.
are stable.
Yeah.
They don't go wishy-washy like the English clubs. But the good thing about the English game is that they have shared the money equally. And then there's a quota system based on how much you appear on television.
Yeah.
But Real Madrid and Barca and Bayern have monopolized their various leagues where they own the right to the matches. So I think one Real Madrid match is almost like more than $500,000 or so for a single Real Madrid match. So we have to look at our system and see that this thing, is it beneficiary to us?
Yeah.
So we don't go copy blindly, but we have copied blindly. And that's why anytime we try something new, it doesn't work.
Let me get on the phone. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Oh, you picked my call. Hello, but
yes.
you were not here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, my brother. What's your name?
Yeah. My name is Metusela. I'm calling from Sukura.
Yeah, you grew up.
I'm listening to you guys, and then it's very amazing. And then, I just want to add something to my brother small.
Yeah.
To be somebody, and then with a family, if you married and then your woman didn't help you, I think you, the man, you are nothing before the decimal point. Why am I trying to say? In this country, what we, the youth, we are realizing, and then what is going on in this country is that we are not ready to help the country, and then we are not ready to do anything in this country that will benefit us. All the time you see that, somebody wants to travel to abroad and go and make it over there. Meanwhile, your country, you can make it over here. There's a couple of times then that I realized that the Ghana national anthem that they are talking about, my brother was talking about, is very, very, very important. And much more to go, our leaders, even if they hear that kind of business, they won't stop wherever they are. You see them, some driving, some walking around. Yeah, fine. We have to help ourselves in this country. Okay. All the time, our mindset is that government is coming to do it for us. But we have to help the government.
Okay.
We have to help the government.
Okay.
So thank you so much for your discussion. And then if we can take this thing serious, it will help some of us, or now it will help the country. So,
thank you very much, my brother. He is talking about the sense of patriotism that we have lost completely, because Ebo mentioned it here on the show. 0542571061. We're talking about the sense of patriotism in every sphere of our. It's been taken out of the fabrics of our lives, and sometimes it's quite preposterous to see that we do things. He's talking about some of our officials even listening to the national anthem. Some of them can't even recite it. They can't even the national pledge card. They can't even recite it. I promise on my honor, they can't. Some of them they can't even recite it. But they are there. Hello, good evening. Hanel.
Please, Hanel.
How are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
Good. Let's hear your contribution.
Ghana football right now, I think they have lost a lot of followers. So even Ghanaian footballers who play in the Ghana Premier League now don't even earn enough for their own living. And I think we refuse to. So the government should use the money that they have wasted on the African. They could have used the money they have wasted on the African Games and the AFCON we went for. They could have used that money to develop the sport and give players higher salaries so that they'll be able to finance to be able to manage themselves. So I even think that the Ghanaian player will decide to play in the Scottish League than there in Ghana, because it will have better quality and more patriotism than here in Ghana. So this is my contribution.
Okay. Haniel is an 11-year-old boy. He calls my show every evening to contribute. Yeah, he's an 11-year-old boy.
Oh,
and he calls she's a Manchester City fan. He calls my show every day, every single day to contribute to the show.
Oh, yeah, I would love to meet him.
Yes.
I would love to meet him.
Lovely guy.
If this is what it's left for us, to bring up people like this, expose them to things that we were not exposed.
When was the last time you went to the stadium to watch a football game? When was the last time you went to the stadium?
I went to him.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Your name is?
This is Papistic.
Papistic, let's hear you.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Today I try, this shows that you have a lot of listeners.
You see,
and Sporty is big, and it will be bigger.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah, what I have to say is about how Ghana football is moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's painful. Me, I don't support, I don't have friends, I don't have any other thing. I use football to entertain myself. And my first team is Blasters. So when Blasters is suffering, I feel pains in my heart. The broken heart I had last year, the whole of last year, was what happened at Ivory Coast. When Ghana scored 2-0, and then last minute, they equalized. goalkeeper should just let the ball go and then you go and catch that ball. To me, what is going on? I don't know. Ghana football have done something else.
Okay.
And then you see the leadership. It's all about the leadership. One of my brothers called and he said, he spoke about how the president is owning a club. It happens at some places. But here it has become something because it's like I have to let my team to stay in the league by all means. Whilst if we are even supposed to go to relegation, by all means they have to stay. They have to win. You understand? We are complaining that hooliganism, whatever. It's all about the leaders of the clubs.
Okay. Okay, Papistic. Thank you very much, Papistic. We need to shut the lines down now. I've got 3 minutes to sign off. Ebapia is back. But before we go, finally, let me ask you, do you think that chronism is what has destroyed our football?
Backbiting. We are people who are wicked.
We are
very wicked. Like we are. Fiifi, one of my biggest betrayers is on a show like this. Maybe off air, I'll tell you. I used to be on a show, and after 5 years, I realized that the producer and then the host were taking money at my back.
I know where this would happen.
SportyFM.
So you come and sit, and the host and the other people had taken monies. So what's that taboo there? Host na kasa 5 minutes and not 10. No one ma padin kasa 6 minutes. No one ma communicate with 3 minutes. So I became agitated, not because I want to be agitated, because I had to now counter 9 minutes in 3 minutes. So that's how I had been wired. So at a point I told him, I said, you know what, from today onwards, talk 10 minutes and give him 8 minutes. But me, I need only 2 minutes. I'll finish all that you have done. That's how I've become what I have become. Because if you speak the truth, you will always have to sound this way. There are people in Ghana, when you off the camera, they talk different. When they come and sit on radio, they talk some waves. Duality, dual life people. That's all we have in this country. You meet them off camera. What can I say? What's the document? What the benkum? What about radio do? There. That is the kind of people we are. Very, very, very wicked people. The very people around you try to pull you down. Try to. It took you to bring me here.
We need to do this again.
Sure.
We
for
need
you,
to do this again.
I won't say no.
We need to do this again. Ebo, thank you so much for your time.
I enjoyed myself.
Yes.
And let me say this to the Sporty team. I think you've revived football. You've revived sports. I'm so proud of Gary.
Yeah.
I have a relationship with him that I can only tell you. But when I look at him, I am very proud that our years have not been wasted.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is just the beginning for the Sporty team. I think it will go very, very international.
And I can tell you that
for the first time, we're going to produce something out of Ghana for the world.
Yeah.
And I believe it starts from Sporty.
And interestingly, the kind of team here
that he has put together.
Yes.
Everybody is here on merit.
Yes.
I haven't seen one person.
Everybody works with little or no supervision, because everybody is a pro.
This is a team some of us will be proud to be part of.
Yes, everybody is a pro. Everybody
for
is a
the
pro.
first time, I'll be proud to be part of. This is a wonderful team going. They know what they are about. And hey, congratulations to all of you. This is just the beginning.
It had to take him to pull me out.
Yeah.
Because
Gary's good. It's very good.
It's done well.
And I think if you look at him, it tells you that there's hope for Ghana.
Oh, yes.
If you look at Gary.
It's just that his head is too small, but there's a lot of yes. Anyway, well, thank you so much for your time this evening, and I've enjoyed every single bit of it. We should do this again. But this time, I would add a handful to the conversation. So it is me, you, August, and a handful. I know, because the three of us, there's something.
There's a synergy.
There's something. The three of us, there's something. And that's how I got him here. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful evening. All right, it's time for us to be running.